Park. Studio Park is QVC's exclusive proprietary apparel line. And we do have a lot of people are not familiar with the fact that we have an entire internal house of designers here at QVC. They're phenomenal. They're great fashion professionals, and they create many and collaborate with many of your favorite apparel brands as well. So hosts here at QVC had an opportunity to work with our internal teams to come up with collections based on styles that we like, clothes that we love to wear, things that we have in our own personal wardrobes. So I've done that a couple times, two or three or four. Now I can barely remember. But in my most recent collection, I did one of my favorite kind of off-duty looks, and that's just a crisp button front shirt. But why make it just a simple, basic, crisp button front shirt? You can find that anywhere. And it just so happened I had seen on a really high-end fashion website. I like to look at it all. I call it research. But they had done this designer shirt, and it was quite expensive. But even more than the fact that, like, ooh, look at that price tag, was truly the idea of combining different elements into a classic shirt to make it something unique. And so that's when I asked our team, can we do that? And so that's what we did. So this is the Studio Park by Leah Williams Color Block Classic Button Down Shirt. It is now $24.99. That's over 55% off the regular price, because there won't be more orders coming. The Studio Park collections are one and dones, and once that drop is done and the inventory is gone, it's not reordered. So I did this top in two colors. I did it in a neutral, which is just kind of a khaki sand, and then I did what I'm wearing, which is the blue. And what I wanted to do was a color block that wasn't too, because that designer top, while it was very interesting, it was blocked with lots of different things, and it looked cool. It was very editorial, but I thought, like, in my real life, it was a bit much. But to do color block, taking maybe a classic stripe and do color block with then a solid white, works to give you something interesting in a traditional button-down shirt. Now, color blocking the sleeve as well as the body. And then I love a high-low. So we went longer in the back to really give you that nice coverage. Shirt tail hem, that's the one that curves. And what's nice about doing curved in the back, straight in the front, and doing longer in the back and shorter in the front, if you are one who likes to do the front tuck or the half tuck or even the tie at the waist, having enough difference between where it stops at the front and where it stops in the back is important for it to work well, to be able to do those kinds of stylings. So those were sort of my thoughts when I was asking, can we do a button front shirt that's a little more interesting than the traditional style? And this is what we came up with. I do want to point out a couple of other things, because when I say classic, taking the classic, it's got the pointed collar. It also has what's known as a collar stand. That's this portion that's a separate piece. It's what allows you to pop that collar and make it stand if you want to. You'll notice that the back yoke is color blocked. It's got a center seam going all the way down the back, and this is done in 65% cotton, 33% nylon, and then 2% spandex. Why the mix? Because there are a lot of all cotton button front shirts. There are a lot of all poly button front shirts. There are a lot of shirts that have a great deal of spandex. This one, combining the cotton, breathability, the nylon, which makes it really smooth, and then the spandex, which gives you just a subtle bit of stretch, gave me everything that made it really easy to wear, really comfortable to wear, and still allowed me to have all the things that I wanted. Like, again, a collar that I could pop and that would stand and would still be crisp. A cuff on the sleeve that still had that sort of classic tailored look. So it's the idea of a classic button front but it's a classic button front with a special twist. So you're going to order true to your QVC size. We have sizes extra, extra small to 5X. I wear the extra large in QVC fashion, and so it fits me through the shoulders. It is a relaxed fit. The whole idea of this is sort of give you kind of an easy, relaxed button front with a tunic length in the back. Length is going to range anywhere from 26.5 to about 32.5 inches. It is under $25, and that clearance price happens when we're down to the last of the inventory that we will have. And so if you're thinking, well, okay, I could certainly wear either of those colors with white, absolutely you could. But again, the idea of doing classic colors. Now, coming up a little bit later, we're going to be talking about the Margot jeans that I'm wearing. And they come in the blue that I have on. They also come in a color called Feather. Feather is more like your soft khaki neutral. So that, if you love a color story where everything is kind of coordinated in the same palette, think about that. But also consider doing colors that don't necessarily match, but that go. So for example, also in the Margot jeans, there's a color called, I think it's called soft pink, or no, peach. I think it's called punch. It's pink punch. Pink punch. It's sort of a watermelon, corally salmon pink color. You could do that with this top in the neutral, and that would be a fun way to, again, the colors don't match, but they go really well. And it feels very springy, very modern, very contemporary. So we know a classic button-down shirt is one that works in a wardrobe. My version just took a couple of classic elements, like the classic stripe, classic white, and put it together in a color block design. So let us know if you'd like it, A634-583 in the neutral or the blue, while the inventory remains. All right, so